Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, it's breakfast time. I didn't put enough in this oatmeal to make it taste good, so I'm gonna pause my breakfast and talk to y'all, because this ain't tasting good at all. So this is what we got going on here, man. I'm watching Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. They did not spend too much time on the conversation in regards to the tweet, but he did. Shannon addressed us and essentially said that he didn't want to leave any speculation for why he wasn't there yesterday. What he saw affected him differently, and he felt coming up here yesterday having a conversation with Skip about the tweet would not do justice by the circumstance at hand when Hamlin is truly still fighting for his health at this point. So when you're talking about wanting to address that immediately, the very next day, I think Shannon was trying to convey that he didn't feel like his energy would have been right for the topic and to eloquate it the way that he would have liked to. He would have had more energy for Skip and what Skip said on the tweet than he would have been able to provide the proper perspective that he wanted to provide. And I understood that, man. You know, Shannon Sharp's one of the great NFL players of all time, and his brother is as well, Sterling Sharp. And we know Sterling, even though I don't follow football personally, I know through Shay's accounts of what happened, his career was cut short. And I remember Sterling even more so than Shannon because I was a Packer fan. So Sterling was on my squad. But I didn't follow football well enough to really know anything back then. But I remember him, and I remember winning with him in 96. It's one of them situations where it's like, actually, no, we didn't win in 96. Shay won in 96, ironically. But either way, it's one of them situations where it's like, I look at this and I say it's kind of sad because I don't like what Skip is allowing to happen to his legacy as it pertains to how far he wants to take this hate me, I'm a troll thing. But that just comes from somebody who's enjoyed watching him and has kind of been inspired by what it is that he does. I mean, him and Stephen A. Smith, I mean, I don't know that I even have this camera on if I didn't study them dudes religiously. You know, sometimes I worked a job back in the day where, you know, I had a graveyard shift job for like 2 years straight. So every morning I was watching First Take at the crack of dawn. Like every single morning I'm watching them dudes. So for me, it's a little more important that I speak this way because I've been inspired by these guys and I've watched them display what it is that they do for a very long time. And I don't want it to I don't like where this is headed for Skip. I've always known Skip to have ridiculous takes. I've always known Skip to be somewhat of a verbal bully. I've always known Skip to say stuff that was supposed to be ridiculous to me. And I've also seen him be right about certain things that don't, you know, just it's like, how the hell were you right about that? It doesn't happen, you know, all that often, but I've also seen him be a human being and show and display character in situations where I could appreciate what I saw. I've seen enough of that over the years with my own eyes to be disappointed in what I'm seeing right now, simply put. You know, and I know the rest of America is as well because we've all been watching First Take and Undisputed for a long time. And Skip has been around even longer than that, obviously. And for him to just be so caught up in the numbers, just like everybody else is in this era, I just think it discredits everybody alive today who's doing whatever they're doing in the name of entertainment and business, because it's all about the numbers. Music, all about the numbers. Sports, all about the numbers. Entertainment and this type of stuff, TV stuff, all about the numbers. YouTube, all about the numbers. Everybody's going for a money grab, and they're not respecting their legacies, the science, and ultimately that this era of the money grab is going to disappear. And people are going to want to go back to the science of things and want to take the understanding that, first of all, we're in a space where money is more important because we're going through a literal recession right now. Let's just be honest. Everybody's on a money grab. Everybody's trying to take advantage of the fact that everybody's on a money grab. So there's opportunists going around trying to profit off of that. And I just think that when we come out of this, when this is no longer a thing, it's going to get back to the science of what it is that we're doing. It's going to get back to the substance of things being good. And most importantly, these first week sales, whatever it is that these guys are doing in the short term, it holds no weight when you zoom all the way out and look at things for what it's worth. So for me, it's like when I'm looking at Skip, a talent who's been through all these different eras where sometimes the numbers matters, other times it was more about the sport, other times it was more about social stuff. He's been through so many different eras in his life, being a public figure for sports, to now at this age of his career, when it's time for him to almost farewell, he's all about the numbers. It's damn near no humanity in the man when it's time for him to promote because he's too busy focused on the numbers. I got to make sure they're paying attention. I got to make sure that it's like, dog, do you not understand that you are ruining your legacy? Because there's going to be people who will look at you and say, this person didn't give a damn about humans. And I'm telling you, that is a thing when it comes to wanting to support people in their art forms. If we think you're a bad guy, we're not interested, bro. That's the bottom line. And I know there's a lot of people who would disagree with that, because there's a lot of trolls out there. There's a lot of people who like chaos and hatred and all kinds of stuff. But what I'm telling you is the wide public doesn't want tension on their screens when they would turn on the TV screen in the morning. They don't want tension, bro. They really don't. It's too early in the morning for that. Especially when it comes to stuff as simple as, let's care for someone who just went through something that almost cost them their life. So that's what I want to say, man. I think Skip dropped the ball a lot here, man. And getting on that screen today and just saying that he, as Shannon said, I hope he takes it down. That should have already been taken down. Like, this is why I say people, their egos and the arrogance and the vanity or whatever, it gets in the way. The need to put this guise up of being strong even when you're wrong. It's misguided to no end. It's the very wrong example you show children. The last thing I want my kid to do is make a mistake like Skip Bayless and then double down on the mistake and make himself look even worse foolish, making the environment around him close in on him. It's like, no, Skip, you're leading people down the wrong path. If they follow what you're doing, they're not going to get good results from doing that, brother. They're not. Some of them are going to actually lose a lot of things trying to follow your lead on standing on hills that they shouldn't die on. Just because people misunderstood what you said and were hurt by their misunderstanding and you intended something different does not mean you should leave the tweet up to further be misunderstood. And Shannon mentioned there were people, their bosses wanted an explanation. Skip kind of denied that. He said they didn't have a problem with it. And my thing is that it becomes a situation where even if the bosses aren't getting on your case, Skip, even if the words mean a certain thing, Skip, it's the feelings that people get when they look at the words, regardless if they interpret them correctly or not. It's the timing from which you set those words out and not focus on the life of the child in a way that verbalizes that clearly. It is insensitive, sir. Regardless of if you had carte blanche to say those words and outs from your professionalism. You see what I'm saying? It's about the numbers. Are the bosses okay with it? Yeah, then I got away with it. No, friend, you didn't, because it sucks. We don't like seeing that. It's horrible. It reflects poorly on you. It reflects poorly on your wife. And it reflects poorly on your show, on your coworker. Like, seriously, let's just call it what it is, man. I look at Ernestine and say, you married a man like that? Let's be real. Because if he has an out, I said this, so therefore I have a right. Even though everybody's hurt, it's fine because I'm protected by the fact that I worded it a certain way. It's like, brother, you missed the point entirely. People gonna want to cut your head all the way off for certain types of stances like that. Just because you think you're right and you're giving yourself carte blanche. They feel, friend, they feel. And with those feelings comes reaction. With those reactions comes a lack of support. And with the lack of support comes a canceling of you. And it pisses me off to no end as a fan. It really does. It pisses me off. You know what I mean? Because I watch somebody work so hard every day. You get up 4 and 3 in the morning every day. You're working out, doing all this stuff everything single day. Doing all this for all these years. And you get to 2022 and just sell all the way out. So when we talk about sellouts, it's usually going to talk about black people and black people selling out their own people. Nah, not this time, Skip. Anybody that's selling out for the numbers and not respecting the craft of what it is that they're doing and not respecting their name and not allowing their humanity to bleed forth. When people are scared for the life of a young person, the whole world is worried about this man, and you sit up here talking about the ramifications of a freaking football game, like anybody's going to take well to that. Like anybody's going to say, well, since he worded it that way, it's a reflective piece. And now, Skip's right. I mean, this game is really important. Nobody talking about a damn game. No talking about no game, fam. As soon as that boy got that CPR put on, and it was administered on him, we understood that NFL football was not the focus in the room. For nobody watching but you, Skip, and people who think like you who don't have high character. Let's just be honest. Everybody I saw agreeing with Skip, people don't have high character, bro. It's low character, low frequency individuals that think that it's okay for Skip to talk this way or convey his thoughts this way at that moment. Bad humans agree with that crap. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? So let's normalize good energy and let's normalize shaming bad energy, even if it comes from people that we have appreciated for 25 years or whatever. Skip needs to do better, man. You know what I'm saying? And I applaud Shannon for not showing up yesterday. I applaud Shannon for keeping his cool. I applaud Shannon for remembering his responsibility to the village as well. You know what I mean? Don't get up there and do anything that would otherwise embarrass yourself just because you were mad at him or hurt by him. We appreciate that he didn't do nothing like that. I never thought for a second that Shannon would put hands on Skip or nothing like that. We are not going to even venture down those paths because obviously Shannon Sharp is a monstrous athlete, and Skip Bayless is just a guy who works out, an older man who works out, and it's not fair. I don't care how much ego you have. That's not fair, and it shouldn't even be considered in any way for the betterment of everybody. So we ain't gonna even go down that path. But I appreciate that Shay just didn't let it get out of hand. Keep your professionalism. You know what I mean? Keep your professionalism. Keep your manhood. Keep your black manhood. You know what I mean? Don't let people shake you out of your position just because they're pushing buttons. You know, it's another thing. I'm watching what's happening in other situations so I can bring it here. I would, before they break up, I would sit down with them. I would sit down with Skip and Shay before they break up and discuss how they got to this point, and to be certain that no one helped them get there. That's why I always tell people who are feuding, look around, find the middleman. Is somebody's helping this? Is somebody instigating this? Is someone stand to benefit from seeing you guys break up and leave in bad energy in this way? Is somebody going to pick up the plunder from your war? Always look for that. Always look for that. So I'm sitting up, I'm watching No Jumper, and their nonsense, what they're doing with Podik Flacco. If you guys follow that nonsense, I haven't reported on it. But essentially, they're trying to pin employees against one another for content. Hopefully, it's scripted so that nobody has real feelings and emotions involved. But it's just the point. When I see that going on over there, and I look at what's happening with Skip and Shay, I'm like, it could be something like that going on a lesser scale or a greater scale that's not as obvious, not as intentional and being seen that way. But yeah, people who would stand to benefit from this show breaking up or what have you. So, I don't know. I just feel like lines have been crossed with those two, it seems, on air. Obviously, contractual stuff could be going on behind the scenes. I've heard some stuff about that, and that could also break people up and make it so that the energy is bad. Obviously, when the money ain't right, people ain't getting paid properly, what have you. So I think that a lot of what is going on the camera has to do with whatever probably is taking place behind the scenes. And I just feel like guys need to make sure that this is ending on their terms. You know what I mean? Because you can find yourself so emotional and upset with the person next to you that you don't see the guy in the corner sitting there rubbing his hands like Birdman and pumping his fist because he got what he wanted out of the circumstance, while y'all just continue to be emotional against each other like as if that person isn't there. So I always look for that kind of stuff, and I always try to provide that suggestion just in case that person's hiding and nobody see him. But they don't have to necessarily be there. But when there's millions of dollars, they are there, simply put. So that's what I gotta say, man. That's my thoughts, man. I think Skip Bayless needs to dig deep into his who he wants to be remembered as on this earth when he's no longer here, man. I cannot stress that enough. When you reach a certain age, even my age now, 38, when you get to a certain age, you know that what you do in your moment is going to matter. Your legacy is going to matter. You know what I mean? How people review you, remember you, and think about you, if they decide to think of you at all, it's going to be because of stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And how they treat the people that you love after you're gone. It's another variable people don't think about. One of the reasons why I've been treated so kind is because my mom kept good friends. I still have people that reach out to me to this day because my mother was such a good friend to them in her lifetime. So now they want to see her son be okay. I don't reach out to people. My personality, I never do. I love all those folks, but it's not my personality to do so. But they keep staying loyal to my mother. You understand what I'm saying to you? That stuff matters. People don't think about that kind of stuff. They be too busy worried about, those are my numbers. We getting successful today? Yeah, like today's the last day, like they're the last person on earth. No. And no. So that's what I gotta say, man. God bless everybody on the show. Thinking about Hamlin, because that's who's most important. We got to make sure that young man is prayed up and gets back on his feet. I want to see him not only survive this, but get back on the field, continue his career. You know what I mean? That's what I feel about it. Especially since I believe if the doctors or what they've been speculating is the case, that could happen to anybody at any time in any way. You know, it's just a freak accident. So it should not cost him his damn life or his career. So that's what I'm praying for, man. And that is the focus. All this other stuff, all that other evil that we are discussing is just further providing a lack of healing for the world and a lack of healing for his family as they're praying for him to heal. So I wish for all of that energy to be away. I rebuke that energy. And I just want to send healing and warm prayers toward the Hamlin family at this time. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.